So the whole reason I'm making this video is because I was just watching, just like scrolling on Instagram Reels, which I do way too much. And I kept coming across these videos where it's like these content creators and these photographers and videographers, and they're all like, the most common question I get asked is, what kind of gear are you using, or what kind of gear do you have?
That I use to get shots like these.
Okay, so this is how it's gonna work.
All right, we got two R5 Mark IIs, an R3, a 1020, a 100.
I'm just trying to play
content day, and since you've been wondering what sort of gear I used,
and they're just making these videos about the gear that they're using, and I just like, you guys are asking the wrong questions. Yeah, gear is important. Yeah, gear can make your videos or photos look better, but gear doesn't, it's not everything. 75% of the output or the results you're getting are the effort you're putting in, the creativity, the vision, everything like that. So you're better off asking, how did you compose this shot? Or what was your thought process while color grading? Or, how'd you come up with the idea for this video? Things like that that are more about the process than about the equipment you're using. Because you could have an iPhone and still make some really good, videos or photos or content or whatever. And people waste way too much time focusing on the gear instead of focusing on the process. So last time on the channel, I was talking about how it was difficult for me to start making videos and how I just felt not demotivated, but just, I think scared to start because I was worried about, how my videos would do, and I was worried about making things really, I don't know, good looking, cinematic, whatever you want to say. And all that was stopping me from wanting to get started. And another thing I think that holds people back or is an excuse that people make for their work is the gear that they're using. And when I first started photography, I had like a Nikon D3200, like an older camera, and it was a DSLR, and it was great. My mom gave it to me, and I bought like a nifty 50, and I used that for everything for like the first year of doing cars. And it got me to a place where I was like taking pictures of all these shows, and I actually got my first paid shoot with that camera, and it was great. But, I felt like maybe I needed something a little better, especially because I was doing things with fast-moving subjects and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to upgrade. And I got a Sony a6100, and honestly, I would still be fine with that camera, and it was not bad. I got that thing for real cheap, and I just, the point of me saying all this is that people are really, just like concerned with the gear that they're using, and they think that I'm going to buy this $4,000 camera and I'm just starting and it's going to make me just as good as all these content creators I see online. But that's not how it works. I mean, you have to have, a vision or whatever. You have to have an idea of what you want, and you have to be able to create that vision. And your gear isn't going to, I mean, it'll help you do that, I guess, a little bit in a technical sense, but like, it's not going to just like be a cheat code to be able to create like people can create. I mean, you have to build your skills. You have to put in the work. You have to go out and you have to shoot every day, all the time. I mean, anytime, like, and you just have to do it. And like, thinking that just purchasing more gear and fancier gear is just gonna like shoot you ahead, it's really not. I mean, the thing I've noticed, so I don't have the A6100 anymore. My grandfather is like just an amazing person, and he offered to buy me a camera, because he wanted to help me with the things that I was interested in, and I really appreciate that. So I got a Sony A7C II for Christmas last year, and I've been using that all year, and it's great. But what I've noticed with high resolution new camera is that it almost looks too clinical. It almost looks fake. It's like you spend all this time editing and doing all this work to try to make it look, for me personally, less like that. And so like I bought some cheaper lenses and some cheaper filters and stuff, and honestly, the character that they give me is kind of what I'm looking for. So uh, I don't think that you need the top of the line gear and the top of the line everything to be able to make the content you want to make. I think you should make the content you want to make with whatever you have, whether it's a phone or a cheap DSLR or a cheaper crop sensor camera or whatever. And then when you start feeling like, okay, I've been doing this long enough, my gear's holding me back, then you can upgrade. But your gear's only going to hold you back so much. You're holding yourself back. I mean, I do that to myself all the time. I instead of spending time thinking about how I can make my work better by doing um things that I'm capable of doing with the gear that I have, I spend this time being like, okay, well, maybe I'll buy a new lens, or maybe I'll need this, or maybe I need a better editing software, or whatever. But it's not the case. I mean, there's so much time we spend stressing about those things, and it's wasteful, you know? I mean, I bought an old, like, Sony Handycam, and I love that thing, and it looks terrible, but it gives this, like, certain vibe or whatever that I'm looking for, and it was $70, you know what I'm saying? And, like, people like it, and it's cool. It's not like you need this, like, clinical sharpness and this clinical clarity and everything to, like, make your photos or video look good. Because especially when you're creating like this, it's not about your stuff looking good, really. I mean, it's about what you're putting out, like, are you being genuine? Are you interesting? Are you making the things you're doing interesting to people? Are you connecting in a way that you know, um, people receive well? I think that, like, if you're putting out a color grading video, that's a different story. Or if you're doing something, if you're making a movie or you're making a short film, then yeah, you focus on the technical specifications of your gear. But if you're making any other sort of content like that, then work with what you have and and improve by putting in the work and the effort instead of trying to take shortcuts like gear. And I still do it all the time. Um, I'm still like, I'll get into a spiral where I'm like, oh well, you know, I don't want to create because it doesn't look right, and I'll like record, and then I'll like try to put all this time into editing, and I'm like, I can't get it to look right. Well, yeah, obviously it's the gear I'm using, but it's not. It's technical skills. I don't know how to expose S-Log properly. I still don't know really how to color grade that well, and there's plenty of things that I can learn with free resources on the internet with the gear that I have, you know? So I just think that, like, gear is an excuse to hold yourself back because you're too afraid of failure or whatever, and you just need to put aside those fears and just be comfortable with that because it's the only way to grow. And the other thing that I think correlates with this I've been struggling with is this whole like idea of motivation, where you're like, oh well, I'm demotivated, um and so I'm not going to create, and I'll just wait till I'm feeling more motivated. But motivation's a fucking scam. It's ridiculous. Motivation's not just gonna come. You have to make it happen. There's plenty of times where I've been like, oh, I'm demotivated, and then I just push myself to do the thing that I want to do, and then once I start doing it, I get that motivation or whatever to continue doing what I'm doing. But until you force yourself to take that first step, you're just gonna sit there waiting for something that's never gonna come. So I'm just trying to say that, like, we all struggle with these feelings of and thoughts that hold ourselves back, and it's just time to stop making excuses. I mean, for me personally, like, I don't even, I'm not trying to give anybody advice because I don't even know what I'm doing myself. I'm just trying to explain about what I've been struggling with and how I think it's affecting my work and how I'm trying to deal with it. And I think that I need to put more time and effort into putting out the kind of content that I like, and growing with what I have. And like this video I'm putting out right now, I forgot my camera. I'm going on a trip to see some family for Christmas, and I've been wanting to record a video for like a week, and I just haven't had that much time, and I haven't put aside time for it. And today I'm like, man, I don't have my camera. I can't create. I'm not going to make a video because it's going to be on my phone. It's going to look shitty. But that's not the point. The point is not, that's just all an excuse to not do something. I mean, well, I can record on my camera. I can record on my phone. What matters is that I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the time. I'm making the video. And even if it isn't received exactly like it would be on my camera, then there I go. Then I find out that, okay, maybe it is important to wait till I have my camera, but you're never going to know that until you do it. And with all that being said, I'm just trying to make people feel like these thoughts that are going on in your head are normal, and it's fine to feel like, you're demotivated, or you're being held back, because everybody feels like that. But all I'm trying to say is you need to push aside those thoughts and just get over it and just force yourself to do things, especially if it's something you like doing, because the only way to get better at things is by doing it, you know?